Starting in 5 seconds. A large part of the work of a modern government has to do with science. It is only through science that we can transform into reality that the hopes we have held out to our people for many more years to come. The people will measure progress in terms of our ability to give them their basic needs. The agricultural scientist has a specially vital contribution to make to our plans of economic development. For years, the government has been persuading farmers to adopt new farming practices. It is only in the last 3 or 4 years that the response of the villagers has overtaken the official effort. The farmers have shed their skepticism of city people and their new ideas. What has convinced them is what they have witnessed with their own eyes. Everywhere, farmers tend to be conservative and slow to change, but once they change, they are not content to be indifferent converts. The discovery of a new seed variety stirs rural people as much as a spacewalk or a transplanted heart does the more liberate classes. Farmers today walk miles to buy seed. The great problem for the government is to find sufficient seed and fertilizer to meet their demand. What a change from the days when we could not get them to hear us or look at what we had to offer. Rural India has shed its apathy. Agricultural scientists can rightfully claim their share of the credit for bringing about this transformation, but they cannot rest there. The solution of one problem gives rise to many new problems. New varieties are being extended to vast areas because of the demand from farmers and our own race towards self sufficiency. This work is being done far too fast and with only a minimum of protesting. Modern farming is a combination of many techniques and materials. It is not possible to adopt any one in isolation, disregarding the others. The scientist has a special responsibility to provide answers to the problems which are consequences of his own. The greatest task before the agricultural scientist and before the government in general is to ensure that there is no setback in the new program. If, for example, widespread plant disease attacks the new varieties, the farmer's hard won trust in modern practices will be shaken and he might retreat in his shell of traditionalism. The average farmer does not have money to waste, nor can he afford undue risks. He will not experiment on his own unless he is certain that the experiments have succeeded elsewhere. It is because our demonstration programs have been convincing that the cultivators have come forward in such large numbers today to use new varieties of seed and fertilizers. It is not the big farmers alone who has ventured forth. The small farmer's enthusiasm is even greater. To him, even a little improvement goes a long way. In the new agricultural program, he sees the opportunity to fulfill his numerous small needs which have so long been neglected. It is obvious that farmers will pay heed to the call for national self sufficiency only to the extent that the programs makes a difference to their lives. How can we expect them to grow more for the nation if their additional efforts do not bring adequate reward to their own families? We talk of inputs, but in scientific agriculture, the most important input of all is the human input. Modern farming is a far cry from spreading the seed and leaving the rest to the sun, rain, and stars. The farmer has now to fight constantly with nature, repairing its shortcomings, exploiting its advantages, and forcing the pace. This calls for greater knowledge and training on the farmer's part. In turn, the administrative agency has to so devise farm information that even the nominally literate farmer can understand and utilize it. Advancement will not endure if it is isolated. Additional effort in any one field must be matched by similar effort in others. Water, seed, fertilizers, pesticide, tools, credit, marketing, and education all forms part of the spectrum of change. Agricultural scientists, by whom I mean not only botanists but also agricultural engineers and economists, have much to contribute to this coordinated agenda of progress. There has been considerable debate on the question whether research in India should spend time finding out anew what has been found elsewhere earlier. While there might be need and justification for buying industrial know how from abroad, we cannot hand over our agricultural problems to others. A lathe may be bodily brought here from Europe or America, and it will turn out parts of the same shape and specifications, but a plant from elsewhere is unlikely to grow the same way in our soil. Every time a plant is introduced, the scientist has to do considerable adapter work. He has not only to test its suitability to our soil and climatic conditions, but also to find out how far it is susceptible to pest. Stop.